There we go. Let me untape it from the box.
So if you're hearing the sound of chewing in the background, that's because I think the most obscenely gorgeous pastry I've ever seen is just being passed over to me. Thank you, Colleen.
Well, birthday girl deserves yummy treats.
Oh, my God. It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Where did we get this lovely thing?
What was that? It's the Rose Street Patisserie. It's the guy local guy that just won some big, fat, fancy French. Well, he was invited to join like some big fat French bakery
French baker?
Frenchy French stuff. And all I know is that it's really good. You can look it up in the Star Tribune, see the article. And it's like 6 blocks from my house.
Ah. Dangerous?
Yeah. It's just far enough that it's not quite walking distance, which is good. But then again,
maybe if you walked it.
Yeah. Within walking distance of my house, though, is a Willette's, which is also really, really, really dangerous too, because I really like their apple cider donuts.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's really yummy.
Oh my God. Well, thank you. Yes, today, not only are we electing a president, but I'm 50. So there we go.
And you share a birthday with my sister-in-law. Happy birthday, Dee.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool.
It's her birthday today.
There's Scorpios everywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have so many friends that are,
my brother-in-law is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Anthony. My mom and my sister are, coming up at the end of this month. So November's a big birthday month for our family.
It's huge. It's huge. Speaking of months, you passed me a note this morning saying, hey, National Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. It's actually September. Well,
why is all the prostate stuff showing up on my feed? Is it particular, or is it just Men's Health Month? Oh my God, what just happened to the?
Did you have a headphone accident?
Yeah, it's like.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, the stereo is now mono as
yeah.
well. It just went out in an ear. But.
Oh.
So it's going through there. Oh, it's very strange. Oh, well, we'll just deal with it. But no, because there's a lot of stuff, with Movember and Men's Health and all these sort of things. And I was thinking about it because a good friend of mine was diagnosed late with prostate cancer, because he was always told, you're fine, don't worry about it. He's, a gay male. And so they were more worried about, even though he's in a, long-term monogamous relationship, more about AIDS. And so when he finally did get his PSA levels checked, they were way the fuck up there. Uh-oh. Now he's doing great. He did all the stuff, but I think if it had been checked earlier, that maybe wouldn't be as a horrendous thing that he had to go through.
Yeah.
And it's also just this massively huge. I mean, depending on the stats you look at, you're looking at either it's the second most killer of guys behind lung cancer, or it's the second most diagnosed behind skin cancer. It's not as it's way up there. And I know guys are like all weirded out by this, but go find out what your PSA levels are, folks. Go check this out, because we really like the guys. I may be a little crabby about the sexism sometimes, but I really, really like guys. I like humans. I like guys. I like they're awesome.
Yeah,
and we want you here.
Well, and I know someone, a gentleman. He's 69 now. And I think he had to have the surgery for it when he was probably around 60 or 61. And it was a complete success. And he was able to resume his sex life. And I mean, it was a complete and total happy ending story for him. But and he really sailed through the whole thing. He's not a big complainer kind of guy. But he would say the same thing. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, I just couldn't let Movember pass by without talking about the boy parts.
Not a problem.
I think it's funny that we were a little behind on prostate month.
I talked about it, of course. But I know, like I said, it was coming through. I'm like, why is all this stuff popping through my feed?
I could have sworn it was November too, because I remember a couple years ago I photoshopped a mustache on a prostate toy because of No Shave Movember.
Yeah,
I remember.
Funny.
I don't know.
That's
so
funny.
I don't care.
Well, I looked it up because I thought, wow, how did I not see that? And so it was officially in September, but that's cool. It's a good mention today. On another kind of official note, the Minnesota AIDS Project is scheduled to join us on the 29th of this month. So 3 shows down the line. They're finally going to make it in. And we'll have to ask them. They're scheduling. I mean, I think there's only certain people on the education team there. And, their calendars are really kind of tough. We've been talking about this for over a month trying to get them in here. So trying to find a Tuesday that hit. And that's the one that we picked. So the one after Thanksgiving.
Oh, good. That'd be spectacular because we raised $676.
Were they excited?
Oh, very excited. It was a lot of fun, and we figure if we do the bucket spin or more or whatever a Pride that we are going to whoever we choose, we're gonna absolutely clean up for charity.
Make it over 1,000.
It will be spectacular. We're contemplating 2 wheels.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also sent him some coupons to go with the check. I think they like that as well.
That was very nice. Hey, man, fantasy gift coupons never going to be turned down.
No.
Megan, I'm glad to see you this week. There's a movie coming out, and you may or may not be aware of this. This isn't necessarily in your total wheelhouse, but kind of. The Ghost in the Shell movie.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out. Mm-hmm. Yep. Scarlett Johansson. They released a trailer and they call it her nude thermoptic suit. Wow. Oh my God. And it's a 14-second trailer. You should Google. Well, actually I've got a link to it. So, we can put it up there, but, this is based on the manga series from the 90s. And I have a feeling that this is going to give birth to a whole new realm of, comic book themed movies. Because for God's sake, how many more fucking Superman movies can you have? How many more times can we do Batman, for God's sake?
Well, I understand that Doctor Strange, I mean, like you said, it's not my genre. I don't really know what's going on, but I know enough people that do this. So a crap ton of stuff goes through my feed. Mm-hmm. And so I understand Doctor Strange was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
it was pretty meh.
Yeah,
I was so sad because I was looking forward to Doctor Strange more than any of the others because of Mads Mikkelsen. I love you, Mads. And not even he could. First of all, you need to take acid to watch the movie because there's like a 25-minute psychedelic trip out scene. And then the whole movie is like building fighting. They're like, it reminds me a lot of like Dark City or Inception where they can manipulate reality. So they rotate buildings and fight that way. But it never, like Mads Mikkelsen and Tilda Swinton are just like shaking buildings at each other, but it never bothers either of them. So they spend the whole movie like playing building puzzle jigsaw for no reason.
So no progress gets made is what you're saying.
Yes.
Do you think this is more of a setup movie?
I think sometimes origin stories can be a little inherently boring because the first half of the movie is like, oh, I'm Benedict Cumberbatch, whatever, cucumber. I'm an asshole surgeon. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
How do you really feel?
Wasn't that the premise to the hand? Sorry, with Michael Caine. Do you remember the world's worst movie? Do you remember? He's in a car accident and his hand is like he loses his hand and then his hand haunts him and it does bad things.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Now you're talking. Yeah. Now she's into it.
But he's an arrogant surgeon who loses his hand and then it's.
That's pretty fun. And is the movie called?
I'm pretty sure it's called A Hand, and I'm pretty sure it came out like in the 80s. I'm sure when I was in high school, early college, or something like that. Oh, God. I'm pretty sure that if Michael Caine was writing his own filmography, that might be forgotten.
Yeah, that and like Jaws 4. Might not. He forgot to add those to the list.
But honestly, I've heard, like we go off on tangents. I've heard him interviewed. He goes, it's his job to pay the bills. His job is acting. Mm-hmm. He gets to check whether the movie is good or bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
And he was probably the best thing about the movie. I didn't realize that Michael Caine could not accept his Oscar because he was on set filming Jaws 4. That poor guy. That is the revenge.
Maybe, when folks do that, maybe like next year, the following year, you get to have a do-over. Anyone who couldn't make it because they were actually working gets to like get the applause and,
Yeah.
Sort of like makeup picture day at school.
Only makeup Oscar day. Yeah, let's have that. Oh, wait, let's go back and give the Oscars to the people who really should have gotten them. Now let's go there for once. That could be interesting.
Well, that's how I think a lot of folks get theirs. It's more of a,
Yeah.
like you missed out a couple of years ago, so here you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but still the one that it frosts my butt, and I know that it put him off of even acting for the super, long time was Joaquin Phoenix for Walk the Line and playing Johnny Cash. And it's like, because Ray had won the year before, and the whole inside scuttlebutt was they didn't want to give it to another musical biography again. But it's like, have you seen that movie, Walk the Line, either of you? You guys, seriously, watching him do Johnny Cash it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I should. He's hot.
Well,
yeah, there is just the the eyeball concept of it.
I like watching him in 8mm because he's got guy liner and leather pants, and he works in the porn industry.
perfect.
So
Yeah.
that's if I'm going to get my Joaquin fix.
He's acting again, so he's back. But for a while, he just went into music because he was so pissed and bitter.
Yeah, he went into music. That's a term for it.
I didn't say he was good at it.
He pulled a Corey Feldman and gave some performance art style.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is another one. I'm an ad junkie, right, you guys?
Okay.
I loves the commercials. And, but I think this could quite possibly be the mother of all commercials of all time.
Okay, how much sex is in it?
Well, see, none but everything. Because
once again, okay.
so funny. Australia's Northern Territory. Did you see it?
I saw this.
Known
it was
as
on my phone. The Wi-Fi in my house is insane, so I could see the little thumbnail, the picture, but I couldn't click on the story. So this, okay.
So the Northern Territory in Australia is known as the NT, and they're trying to boost tourism, and to say the least, they're being cheeky about it. So their new campaign is called Let Her See You in the NT, and the poster says cunt. I mean, basically, it says see you, and then in the is in the middle.
That's what I saw.
It's hysterical.
I just went, oh my God, only. I mean, really, I only in Australia. God. I don't think there's no place else ever that this can happen. Although only pretty much in Australia, because another thing popped in my feed the other day, where a woman got pulled over when she was being arrested, and then they noticed her backpack was moving, so they asked her what was in the backpack, and she told them baby koala.
That's the next story. Yes. I saw those two right in a row.
I'm just like, I am sure that in all my life, not ever, okay, mind you, I do plan to live for quite a few more decades, but I am never going to have a baby koala in my backpack. Now, mind you, I've had dildos in my backpack and a whole bunch of other stuff when I've gone to the stores and done. I've had things other people are not going to find in a backpack. I get this. But honestly, I want a baby koala in my backpack.
The problem is if you have a baby koala, like what zoo did you break into in the middle of the night?
Well,
they're not just wandering around like they are in Australia.
Yeah.
She found him in the street. This one was. I mean, 6 months old, only about 3 pounds. That's how tiny this thing was.
I know. I'm just like,
and
koala in a backpack.
And he looked like a Clippy. I mean, he really did. He was that small and adorable.
I remember that.
Yeah,
sold out, and then when they got back into stock, I was finally able to get my koala Clippy.
And then they were like done.
Yeah,
nobody wanted them anymore.
Yeah,
but this woman already was wanted by the police. That's what's so hysterical.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, she wasn't even born. This was like
when we were we in? 70s? I think we were in junior high.
70s.
Yeah, junior high, and there was a little. It's probably about 2.5 inches high. It was a little stuffed koala bear, but if you pinched its back, its front arms open, so it was like they'd put like a clip inside of the koala,
and you clamp it to everything.
Everybody needed your koala clippy. It was important that sunflower seeds and the right color tree torns, depending on what school you went to.
Well, not only that, but that was, and this is post Pet Rock. These were the next waves of things that
also they graduated to something with actual eyes and fake fur.
Yes, they did. But so this is these are protected koalas understandably in Australia, and if you do find one like this, because they get orphaned or something will happen, you're supposed to like call the Wildlife Commission. I mean, there's this whole big procedure. It'd be like you and I grabbing a baby eagle and throwing it in our purse and then trying to explain it to the cops. Be like, well,
I just found this. No, you have to like call and do all this stuff. I mean, it's very important. I mean,
it's very official. That is so funny.
But I'm just flipping around and I saw this. I was like, I couldn't click on the story to find out what the CUNT story was, but I could click, but somehow I could get enough of the baby koala. That one worked. I don't know.
There was a lot of weird crap that went down in Australia last week. And normally it's Florida, which today it could be happening because it's election day.
It is election day.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw that over 30% of Hennepin County pre-voted.
That's a lot.
So, I mean, I did because I figure I've got a very flexible schedule. So if I can make it easier for someone else who doesn't have a flexible schedule to vote, I should do that. That's, that's my job.
Yep.
That, in fact, my guy's an election judge, so I will bring him lunch later because he's there from 6 in the morning until whenever he gets done at the city hall tonight.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's not going anywhere. And I know he's got Cliff Bars and jerky, but somehow I think pad thai would be better.
Yeah. I coordinated. I'm calling this my civic beauty outfit.
Very nice.
My red
Very
and my
cute.
stars, blue pants. I got all the colors of the flag.
Cool. You know, where I live it's so easy. It really never gets too nutty. So I try to stay out of the most populous times too, because I've got a flexible schedule. But yeah, I've never had to wait more than a couple minutes, but I did have to re-register because I just moved back to my house. And the lady, Maxine, who dealt with us today was just a riot. I mean, she was just this, very, very handsome, well put together elderly lady who was very official. And she was just the whole thing was kind of a hoot.
I heard my friend shared the most beautiful thing on Facebook today. She was telling me that she, when she goes to vote, and she's not super feminine gal, she kind of like jeans and t-shirt on an ordinary basis, but when she goes to vote, she always like puts on a dress and necklace and does hair and makeup. And she's like, and I always put on heels so that the ghosts of those who fought for my right to vote can hear me coming down the hall. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It gives me little chills.
I'm wearing white. That's a separate color. And I had friends that wore, actually made sashes and other folks that wore colors today. We're going through there.
Very cool.
And it was, pretty fascinating. And I just remember the first time I got to vote, I was actually in Spain, so I had to do an absentee ballot.
Oh, wow.
And so I got in a bus and, took the from Toledo to Madrid and went to the embassy there and turned it in. And it was like, it was a hoot. And I was like, I was not missing. I mean, I have not missed an election. I did screw up a primary once, and I'm like, there was like one judgeship or something in my area. So I was like,
never mind. Yeah. Judicial elections are so hard because they're technically, according to the ethical canons, they're not allowed to campaign. So it's really hard, unless you want to dig into the court dockets for years and try to figure out how they're
I have friends that are horribly well informed. So I usually, if I don't know if something's coming up, I will go, I trust them. So I'll get their suggestions so I at least know what I'm looking for versus just random Google searches.
Oh, very cool.
Because I'm sure everybody has that. Folks that spend a little bit more time digging into stuff than you would. And then okay, I've got to start. And then I can, confirm on my own.
Yeah, there was a lot of, I don't know, in our district, there was a boatload of judges up for re-election, but there was only one that had an opponent.
Oh, yeah.
I am so tempted one of these days to run for judge.
I know,
swear
right?
to God. Yeah, I don't think you actually have to be a lawyer. You can be a judge.
That's amazing.
I would be, I have a pretty logical mind.
You do. You do. Actually, I would vote for you for judge. Okay, speaking of judging a contest.
Ooh. Tits?
Brazil. No, Miss BumBum. Brazil. So this is going to be
the A of the TNA.
A butt-tacular event. Here's the deal. They're taking some fire down there because they assembled, I guess this, there's quite an elimination process and they're down to the finalists here. And so they did a photo showing the remaining contestants here, 9 or 10 of them, in a Last Supper kind of deal. And the Catholics are not happy.
Shockingly. And there's a lot in Brazil. I got to imagine. Huge Catholic.
Sao Paulo much? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're upset. So it's not funny, but it is funny if you see the picture because they're all wearing these flaming orange thongs that just go right up there, and the boobs. Oh my good Lord in heaven. So they've got the one that so far is leading in votes in the Jesus position, holding a cup, looking stressed, and everybody's kind of looking at her like the people that would deny her because she's the one that gets the hate thing. Yeah. And so he was trying to be funny, but there's a lot of really frustrating things. And even one of the contestants said, it offends me and I was in the picture.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that it depends. Okay, if you're just using it that way, that's fine. If you're using it, if your religion can't handle satire, maybe you should take a look at it.
Yeah.
But or anything if it can't handle satire. But it also depends. Is it clever? I mean,
That's not satire, though. That's the problem.
That's what I'm
not
saying.
Clever.
It's not. Was it done for shock value? Probably. Was it done for satire? Probably not. And that's when you lessen everything gets. What's the word I want? I mean, you lose your point. You lose any points for someone who feels confident showing their butt in a contest. You lose respect for the folks that may not like religion, and you lose respect for the folks that are complaining over something that they really shouldn't complain. Nobody wins in that. Mm. So it's it's going through there. I mean, like I said, that's why I could carry a whole bunch of religious based dildos, but I just don't see the point.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing humorous about it. There's nothing sexual about it. There's certainly, it's not as though, a Buddha shaped dildo is going to, be more pleasing than something else. Well, probably more of a Buddha butt plug, but
right.
But in saying it, there's nothing really there that does anything except piss people off, and there's no point to it. Mm-hmm. But if you're saying something again, if someone was to, if there was something beforehand where someone had made some statement or this or that, and this was this photographer's or contestants or the organizers' way of getting back at someone who was out there protesting, maybe. But for the most part, you got to really think. Have you done it well?
Well, there's a whole couple paragraphs of explanation from the guy who staged the photo and why he thought the idea would work, mm-hmm. and how he came up with it and things like that. And I guess for me personally, I don't ever run around intentionally offending other people's religion. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's a really good way to do things. It's pretty unnecessary most of the time. However, that said, I also believe that if somebody offends you, then boycott whatever it is that they, just don't patronize them, right, whatever that may be.
Well, honestly, they still if there's only 9 people in the picture, they got a problem in there, right? Anyway, they didn't even do it right.
Yeah, it wasn't the right numbers, but they showed a juxtaposition of the two, and I'm like, even that, printing that, oh God, guys, just stop while you're ahead, just don't go.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of funny. Oh, you guys, this is so bad, and so funny. I think the gal's gonna be okay, but this is such. Oh man. Did you ever, when you were a kid, watch guys light farts?
Honestly,
have you ever seen that done?
In my entire life, other than on a movie screen, I have never seen this done in real life.
I've seen it once.
Yeah, I'm like, I keep thinking, is this a thing? Is this real? Okay, so it's really
real.
A thing.
I saw it.
I just sometimes I think it was just made up for movies, but okay, I'll go.
No, I actually saw it happen once. It was mildly amusing, but the amount of the flare that occurred was like, okay, whatever. I was hoping something was going to catch on fire. I was in 8th grade, for God's sake. But anyways, so this gal is in surgery. She was having surgical surgery with lasers and, whatever. And she farted and it hit the laser and it caught fire and she got burned. She got burned, and
that is a thing that can happen.
Yes, listen to the quote from the surgeons. When the patient's intestinal gas leaked into the space of the operation room, it ignited the irradiation of the laser, and the burning spread, eventually reaching the surgical drape and causing the fire. She is expected to be okay, but she does have some serious burns on her waist and legs.
Well, these are
maybe that's why you can't eat before you can't eat before surgery. But
I know that you're not supposed to. They don't want you to regurgitate, have it go into the lungs, and then you die. But wow,
I never even would have thought of that.
Yeah, well, guess what? If you're ever having any lower extremity kind of surgery, make sure that you have no gaseous action going on, because this is a real news story.
Like Tums before there's your public service. And it never would have occurred to me. Although, honestly, there was another thing that never occurred to me, and I realized this is the thing. There was a bar in St. Paul, and they were actually having a smack fest, which means people, this was 2 women, volunteered to hit each other.
What?
I don't know that the details were very, very, very tiny in the paper. But I'm like, a smack fest is a thing?
Wow.
And I'm just like, and then a friend did, when I posted the thing going, the story going, this is the thing. I'm like, and they said, well, for context, the bar does have metal detectors. So it's probably.
So it's only, basically open hand and flesh wounds. I mean, really?
Yeah.
I've seen that game a lot in college. I did summer stock theater, and that drives you crazy because you do like 13, 15-hour days, 6 days a week. Mm-hmm. And then you'd go party every single night because it's still college. Mm-hmm. And that would be their thing. They'd have punching contests where they would get drunk and just punch each other to the point where they'd go to the workshop the next day and like can't even lift their arms to like use the power to. I was like, oh my God, fucking guys.
Mm-hmm. No, but
this is women.
This was two
well,
women.
they were probably getting paid at least.
No, they were volunteers. And then here's the thing. They seemed to be fine. They shook hands and chatted afterwards. And then when they went outside later, one of the contestants punched out the other one. So it was all broken.
Why would you do that for free? That's crazy. Someone must be who's making money off of these women. Someone's got to.
I just went smack fest. And I'm just like, you've got that. I seriously hope that at no point in my life that I stop being flummoxed, confused, amazed, gobsmacked by other humans. Because then that means I've just given up.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I was like, because I see this and I'm like, I'm reading it. I read it like 3 times because I kept thinking that some like magical explanation paragraph was going to happen.
Yeah.
No, they do this
in each other.
They're just hitting each other. I don't understand.
Well, you have, in fairness, you do have a very low tolerance for violence, which is not a bad thing at all. But I mean, you don't even like it on your TV shows.
No.
At all. So this, I could see really getting to you a little bit more. But no, I don't want to see that. No, thank you. I mean, I'd be going, ow, ow, no. Mm-hmm. And God forbid, I don't want to like get caught in it, It's like, do you have any idea what I paid for my teeth? Like, no, absolutely not.
Like, I spent enough on my mouth. Actually, technically, my parents spent enough on my mouth years ago.
Yeah, no way, baby. Okay, Rick's Cabaret in New York City. Unclear if there's any connection whatsoever to the one here in Minneapolis. Is there, Meg? Okay, sure. You shook your head as though you might know something.
I know nothing.
This is a strip joint.
No, they're a franchise.
Okay.
Yes, it's the same corporation.
Okay. So this is Gentlemen's Club, if you're unfamiliar. This was weird. Before I go into the actual New York version of the story, speaking of the local Ricks, because downtown Minneapolis is such a freaking tangle of a mess right now, and they're tearing out essentially Washington Avenue.
Yeah, I saw that when I went down to vote.
They're basically taking it down to 1 lane on each side, which we now have 3 sports stadia downtown. So why would you take away lanes that take you to the freeways? Don't get it, but I digress. But because of that, you got to go around. So I drove right by Rick's. So they do the lunch specials for $6 to get guys in there. And of course they have ladies working the day. And sitting outside within the ropes of Rick's were 2 women in full on, just their eyes showing, covered garb, which I'm assuming is Muslim. And it looked like somehow they might work there. And I almost wrecked my car because I'm like, is that, can you take tickets? Is that weird or is it just me?
You would think that someone
where there's naked ones inside.
Yeah, that you would think that any devout religious person, for the most part, would not be working at Rick's, whether it's Catholic or Buddhist or Orthodox Jew or
and I wouldn't have known if they were Catholic, but I just, you know what I mean, because they were the way they were dressed.
But I mean, or it would be like seeing like some Mennonites out there with the little white caps on and the floral dress. Mm-hmm. That would probably be, unless of course they're just, if it's really a good lunch. Maybe. Really, this might say something for the buffet.
Right. If someone can eat for $6, it might be worth ignoring tits for a while.
I'm just saying that was an oddity. That is
a little unusual.
And I was trying to figure, do they work there? Or?
I just hope to God it's not like a shtick. You know what I mean? Like,
like
pretending to be Muslim so they strip out of their hijab.
Oh, God.
Or burqa
Okay, I don't know.
something. That
Maybe-
would be that would be depressing.
No. I'm just going to go for it's a really effing good buffet.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where my brain needs to be
I
happy.
hear that a lot. Like, surprisingly,
Yeah.
food at
Brain
strip clubs are good.
Yeah.
Well, they got to get people in there to kind of, they've got to, it's kind of like you give them the taste and then, whatever.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, this group, RCI Hospitality Holdings, they've got this big announcement at one of their locations in New York. They're opening a separate sports strip bar next to the main one, which is the full strip bar, so that guys can go and check the games, and it's still topless, but they can't go as far as they can in the regular one. But they're putting this other one, and this whole press release and story written about this is like, it's the first one ever. And I'm like, does any person think that this is a stretch between naked women and sports? Like, what people like the demo liking this? It's
Right.
like this is so revolutionary. Are you kidding me? No.
Really? I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's some big announcement. Like, this is some. If you go just down the street, not that I had at the strip clubs, but I used to live right across from here. The Office is a bar in Minneapolis, and it's right next to Deja Vu. And it is owned by Deja Vu because you can go in there and buy your alcohol, check your games, and because in Deja Vu you can't drink. So it's like this is being done, but my God, you should have seen this was splashed over more than one, paper as a major breakthrough in hospitality. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
You're telling me that there nowhere in any place in the U.S. before that
Has this been thought of?
Someone didn't put a TV to the game on during
Right.
I just thought
I can't eat at a regular restaurant without.
Yeah, I mean,
I got my nails done the other day, and there was the football game was going. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever been in a nail salon where it's been football before.
Well, I have been. Well, actually, they had a soccer game on, and folks were watching that when I got my nails once. And I was like, that made a little bit more sense because I would say that about a quarter of the crew that was working there was probably guys.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
We have the one, there's one very close to my house, and there's one male that works there, and he's very nice, but he beats the shit out of your feet. I hate getting him because he's rough. Are the guys at yours good?
Yeah, I mean, everybody seems about the same.
About the same?
Yeah.
Oh, God, this guy's like he's like the foot, abuser. So it's like a masso-petty, or a sado-petty, something like that. Proposition 60 out in California, you guys, this really affects the adult film industry. It's more condom regulation affecting the industry. And boy, there is a lot of ink on this. And a lot of the industry is protesting it, saying that it is really going too far, infringing your rights, and it can actually extend too far beyond the film industry into consensual sex between monogamous partners. So it'll be a really interesting thing to see whether or not and in fact, one person that pushed to have this bill written withdrew support after they saw the version of the law because there was more stuff in there. There's like, whoa, that's not what we were bargaining for.
Yeah, I was reading on that too, and you're going through and I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, there's OSHA standards for almost everything. Okay. And yet, and there's, and I don't see not having some regulation, but I mean, folks are tested every 2 weeks. They do all this stuff. People are willing to, and when I read through everything, I'm thinking, I think that the unintended consequences are available on this bill before it gets passed. That there's something they can do, but it's not this particular bill. That it is completely overreaching. And one of the things is that just it'll move it out of Cali. It'll just move it out of California and go someplace else. I mean, you're not going to. If you look at and you just don't want to say everything's all about money, but you need to say who's it actually affecting. And I'm just, and if that many folks that it's truly affecting are going, there are a lot of flaws with it, then I think you got to take another look at it.
Yeah, we'll follow up on this. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days. I'm sure that will be something that we will know the results to. Whereas there may be other races where it might take a while, but we should know by next show, and we'll see what happens. We've got a video Megan, and this I'm sure you will post on our page, but I thought this was kind of interesting. It's a video about sex ed for boys and what is left out too frequently and never explained to them. And I thought it was.
Yeah, I want to see. Okay, because I did not go into the office beforehand today because my kid's sick and I was, having a really awful bloody nose. But all better now.
Yep.
My nose, not my kid. So I saw the little thing, but I'm like, what is that? So
yeah,
I wanted because they leave so much out.
Yeah.
I wish they would just very quick tangent.
Go.
Talk about like periods and stuff. Because I don't know, I can't remember if we talked about it on the show or if I just saw the story about the so-called Meninist who was mad about the debate over taxes on tampons and pads because he was like, well, I don't just pee all over the street. Like, why can't girls just hold it? Just hold it and not bleed until you're in the bathroom. And like the idea that
that a grown ass adult,
that's not how it works. So, and I was talking to my boyfriend, and he was like, "Well, I feel like if you stick your dick in there, you should know what the parts are at least." And I'm like, "Valid,
that's fair,
valid."
I like that. Yeah.
No, I read that too, and my brain practically spun around in my head because I was just like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I mean, how do you? I mean, just did not know the basic biology.
I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
I'm like, because I read it and I went, I mean, I could just not bleed all over my pants and the seat at the U. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I mean, because there isn't anyone out there that hasn't. They just went, holy shit!
Oh God, ladies, no, that is the worst. The accident.
Oh my God,
goes through your pants.
Yeah, and everyone's got the period underwear and everyone's got all this stuff. I mean, this is why years ago I ended up getting an ablation. Because I could not handle the cramps. I could not handle the bleeding. It was going to be a no baby zone. There was not going to be anything, coming out of my vagina, that was, grown there. So that's all there is to it. Right. And I'm just like, because there was no way that I could be stoned and be a parent because I had a Vicodin prescription for cramps.
Yeah.
And I am to this day, I mean, even though I had, a male gyno, that he understood that I am not making this shit up. Mm-hmm. I am in pain. This shit is real.
Oh, it is.
And, and to get, this harkens back to the, conversation about the birth control, whereas, they were telling women with all their side effects, you'll be fine. It's not really that bad, blah, blah, blah. I'm glad, I did not, at least I did not get the, here, take a couple of aspirin. You know what I mean?
Here's some Midol.
Yeah, let's check things out. Let's do all this. And I just happened to be one of those lucky women that had vicious effing cramps for no reason. I mean, other than the fact that I had like the parts. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to not understand the basic biology, oh my God. So, so obviously one of the things should be that guys need to know how women's bodies work.
Oh, yeah.
They need to know how their own damn bodies work.
Well, yeah. And see, this is really more about the guy side, and I kind of like this. They said, they talk about morning wood. Like a lot of guys, young guys, they're like, wow. And they would feel better and less freaked out by things if the background of this, the next one, condom use, believe it or not. And they here's a couple examples. Most health classes inaccurately teach that condoms are 97% effective at preventing pregnancy when the true rate is actually closer to 82%. And many, sorry, my nose itches. I apologize, ladies. Many people have, you get taught how to use condoms, but these studies have revealed that men are more likely to misuse them than women. Like they don't leave enough room in the end, or they don't, things like that.
I had to teach a grown adult that no, hold down the tip so it doesn't become a pocket of air ready to burst at a moment. And this, I'm like, you've been doing this for a while, buddy. You're kind of been doing it wrong.
Was he relieved?
Yeah, well, I don't think he humors me. I don't think he believes me because he wasn't taught it in health class.
Well, yeah. And so they go through that kind of stuff, which is very important for pregnancy prevention, but they also go through things like the dangers of a broken penis, correlation between penis and foot size, how long sperm can survive inside of a female, and the science behind wet dreams. So a bunch of stuff that never gets talked to. I mean, did you hear about any of this stuff in high school? I didn't either.
No.
The one thing that really upset me that they don't talk about is, in particular, is like pre-cum. The pre-cum contains sperm. And you wouldn't have to ejaculate into someone to get them pregnant. So people were like, oh, we can just have sex until you're getting close and then we'll put on a condom or whatever. Like it's not enough.
No, good point. Okay. This one's from a psych journal, the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. This is out of the University of Toronto. This researcher, she's a PhD. They created a new scale to measure people's general attitudes on sexual compatibility. I thought this was really interesting, you guys. So basically, they found overall that people who strongly believe in sexual growth and they have a mindset that a fulfilling sex life takes effort and hard work from both partners had better relationship and satisfaction sexually than those who didn't. And because the other people were found to believe in sexual destiny, that your good sex life had to do with meeting the right person. And they mapped this. It's a long article. We've got the link. You can read the whole thing. But basically, so the sexual destiny believers who think it's all about who you meet and the right person, the more pissed they got at their partner, or if they had problems, then the sex went down because they tied it into that.
Yeah. So in other words, talkers versus non-talkers. Because if you think it's just supposed to happen, you're just supposed to have I met this person. We have sparks. We, things seem to be working out. So the sex should be good too. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see more science that explains that the more you talk, the better life is. Yeah. See, this is what they're good.
Yeah. No, it's really, it's a really interesting thing. And it kind of can make you sit back. I mean, I certainly, when I was going through it, started thinking about past relationships and what I attached my, thoughts to.
And you're not going to find the magical penis that is...
But people would have you believe that it's out there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
It is like the unicorn.
Or the magical vagina. Yeah, or whatever part you're looking for.
I don't know. Mine's pretty magic.
The great magic V. Woo.
Yep. I do spells with it and shit. Fly around.
Ping pong? Sorry.
I'm going down to Mexico to start my side gig. I'm going to start performance art.
As long as it doesn't involve donkeys.
I was going to say ping pongs and a donkey. I got a real show.
Can you see this picture here on my screen? The fellatio modification project. Does that look in any way sexy to any of you?
French tickler braces?
Kind of.
Is that
It's a retainer.
okay.
And many articles about this thing.
Yep. Okay, I have a mouth guard and a retainer, and they make me choke in general. So the idea of mouth guard or retainer and penis, this is not going to happen.
Okay, this thing that you just saw the picture of, which of course Megan can post, you will be able to look at it yourselves, is the creation. I know it's kind of weird. It's the creation of Kwang Yi Ku, and this guy is a dentist turned artist. So he's got some mad skills here for this retainer stuff. Okay,
so a French tickler retainer?
Yes, you were
Christ.
not kidding when you said that. You pegged it. Just from the visual, Colleen. Winner, chicken dinner. That's exactly what it is.
I guess
it's a blowjob enhancer.
In a way, that's fair, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I suppose.
I mean, if you were someone that could, manage. There's people can manage props. That great, fine, go for it. But I can't. Yeah, for me, they just sort of gag-inducing thinking about it. But that's me. That's how I'm built.
Yeah. Well, these are not available to buy just yet because they have to be custom designed to fit your mouth specifically. So they can't mass produce them. You got to have a mold made. But he's hoping to influence, here we go, the future of oral sex. And so he's thinking down the line, maybe in the future, people might try to somehow figure out how to modify tongue's width and length for cunnilingus. But he's thinking about it. Just wanted y'all to know that.
I would recommend just going and getting a little a lingo or a good head tongue vibrator from Fantasy Gifts. Call it good.
Those things,
little vibrators that sit on your tongue.
See?
Perfect. I have a friend who's a dentist. I'm going to be sending him this article.
Oh, yeah.
He will appreciate it greatly.
Meg's got the links.
Is he a dentist turned artist? Because that's where the real money is, apparently.
Actually, he is a teacher in a process. I don't know the name. I don't know the name of it, where they mold the permanent false teeth. So, I would say, he's a little bit of an artist.
Oh, see, why don't you just get like false teeth? If you ever needed false teeth, you could get little lumps and grooves and ridges on your teeth.
Fellatio teeth.
Yeah, blowjob teeth.
I need the fellatio set and the regular set. God, it's like sunglasses and regular glasses if you have to wear specs. This I just threw in here because I found it to be hysterically funny. 2 women, tired of their guys making a mess when they use the potty, developed this thing, and it mounts in the toilet. And basically what it does is it's when they approach and the seat goes up, a sound is activated and a laser goes down into the toilet, showing them where to aim. This is supposedly to curtail mass splatter and to entertain them, because guys like to have little goals and shoot shit. I mean, this is how my sister potty trained all 3 of her boys. Put Cheerios in the toilet.
I get
had him hit
for
that.
potty training children, but like if a grown ass man doesn't know where to aim now, that's nothing's helping.
Yeah. There are a lot of teenagers at my house. Many of them are guys. At one point, I got to embarrass all of them by walking into the bathroom, looking at the bathroom, making them all stand up, come into the bathroom and go, "This is the toilet bowl. Piss in here."
Did they? Oh my God.
I heard.
You know what I haven't had to do since? Do extra cleaning around the toilet.
Yeah, it's gross.
I don't understand. I just don't.
I heard a very interesting fun fact. Some of it is can be caused by cum. Mm-hmm. Like after guys orgasm, if they have a little schmutz left over, like it obstructs and it'll shoot off in like crazy ways.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what's happening.
No, I'm just saying, but
anyone's else's house. But
it is hilarious. That's it. It's a no.
See, that's funny.
No, I there's no subterfuge, no innuendo. No, it's my house. I have to clean it. Oh, there's a great video I saw the other day of a woman going toilet, floor, bowl, floor, and she's got like a husband and like 3 boys, and it's not just. And she was implying that it wasn't just her boys.
Yeah,
I mean, she got her phone there, and she's making a video explaining the difference between the floor. Yeah. And the bowl.
Yeah.
And I was just about dying.
Yeah.
And then all of my friends that have sons were just chiming in going, "Yep."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So real quick too, have you guys ever heard, I mean, I used to work in sports for a few years, and you know how suspicious baseball players can be, especially when they, don't shave your beard, don't, all that kind of stuff. Well, there's been a long held assumption that guys are not supposed to have sex before a big game or some big athletic event. And there's an article out that you guys might be excited to hear about. Frontiers in Physiology published this, saying that, hey, you know what? Not necessarily the case. And so they're trying to debunk this.
I think that is probably one of the biggest jokes that has ever been pulled over, men ever.
Well, we got to get a good one in here and there, right?
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
And it can all be traced back to like one guy's wife.
In Greece and Rome. Okay, right. This is how far back this dates.
It's one guy who couldn't get any and then had a really good game, and then he said, "Oh, that's what happened."
And the wife, they're like, "Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, that's what got your spear chucking on point."
They did an analysis of 9 major studies and said basically the evidence suggests that, like, for example, in the case of marathon runners, sexual activity can actually boost sports performance. They said just keep it 2 hours or more prior. But you get into that, then you can't. What?
I thought you say just keep the session 2 hours or more.
No, before. Yeah. But they said, don't feel bad about it. Do you know Mexico? This is kind of a side note that I thought was hilarious in here. And I remember hearing this at the time.
Okay.
Mexico banned 8 soccer players from bringing women into the team hotel. Like they wouldn't even let women into the hotel during, the tournament they were in. I thought that was hysterically funny.
Well, if you're up all night not sleeping, yeah. I don't think it's the sex. I think it's probably the lack of sleep and maybe a little muscle fatigue. So maybe, woman on top, we were, you can, what's the word I want? You can have a lot of fun, and the legs aren't all worn out for the guys.
Mm-hmm. That could be. I mean,
or guy on top. You don't want to assume athletes are males.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Well, we were talking about, Major League Baseball here. We don't have a lot of. Only a couple of pitchers have made it, but not a lot of women have made it into that yet.
We'll see. It could happen.
We'll have to ask the ladies that did in the American Professional Baseball League, the women's one. There's still some of them alive.
Yeah. Oh man.
Have to see if that works for them too.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good question. Yeah. I found this article, and it's kind of an evergreen kind of piece, but I just thought some of the stuff was pretty funny. It was how baby boomers changed sex. Now, this is something, there's demographic information that I look at for some of the other work that I do, and baby boomers are no longer the largest chunk of the population. Millennials are.
No, yeah. My niece and nephews are the group.
Oh, yeah. The millennials are huge, huge, huge. And the baby boomers have fallen quite a bit, but they've just been the leading demo that has been watched for marketing and every other gauge and baseline in society for so long. But so the first one that they came up with was boomers made outdoor sex okay. And so they're saying that the whole Woodstock and all of it was the oral contraception getting approved, and the culmination of 6.5 million Americans flocking to the pill right away. It just really pushed that whole thing, and all of a sudden it got talked about, not just sex, but and let's have it everywhere because summer of love is around the corner.
Well, I'm pretty sure like 15,000 years ago, all sex was outside. So maybe we could say they brought it back.
Yeah, it's a throwback.
Yeah,
bringing it back.
Okay, so Colleen says that's a no for number one.
I mean, really, yeah. I mean, like it wasn't before. Or maybe,
that's funny.
And I don't know how legally what they really changed.
Yeah,
you still get arrested for it.
Let's just say that people admit that they do these things. I bet.
Mm-hmm. Well,
okay, what's next?
Boomers made indoor sex more interesting because they were on the front end of the swinger movement, and they credit specifically New York City's Plato's Retreat, clothing optional, couples only admitted, group sex, like the swinging lifestyle now. But this was a place where this really got started in a way that people actually knew about it.
I can see that because you've got women. They're allowing the fact that women enjoy sex, which did not occur for quite a number of years there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so they said AIDS obviously changed everything for that. But number 3 talks about boomers invented the American swinger, and I don't think that could be denied. That was the demo. Mm-hmm. That was when it happened. So we agree with that. Boomers changed the language of sex. So calling sex intercourse went out the window, and they started, bringing in boinking, porking, getting laid, nookie, screwing. I mean, they really put different words, and they brought slang to sex. Agree or disagree?
It could be because they needed to find ways to say it on television. That's my theory. It's going through there. I mean, I remember when I think. The first time they, got to say, penis on TV, I think like the episode of Friends was trying to figure out how many times they could say it, and stuff like that. The first, so you've got to come up with, because I mean, intercourse is non-funny and non-sexy. Mm-hmm. So you got to come up with something. And if you're finally allowed to talk about sex on television or the radio, you got to come up with good words.
Yep.
Although I will always be annoyed at Oprah for JJ. Really, oh my God. That's so, I hate that term.
Does it drive you nuts?
It really does.
Mm-hmm. Well, it went so viral. It went so viral. And Yeah, you don't want virus and BJJ in the same sentence.
No, you do not.
So the boomers changed dating rituals because the author, who was a self-professed baby boomer, said because we blew it so badly. Yeah, we are credited for making the one-night stand popular, but they're also, famous for the bad bar scenes and all the things that eventually your mother told you never to go do.
Well, I guess maybe it was the end of the Fern Bar when I was 21, 22, with all the brass and the ferns and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it was sort of ending in the 80s. I suppose it was there in the 70s. I'd gone through there. I am the first of Generation X, so I'm not really a boomer.
Right, so am I.
Yeah,
I mean, you and I were born the same year.
And so...
No, well, 1 year...
Yeah, I'm older than you.
Oh, okay.
And then but so it is sort of funny watching some of the stuff that just sort of stopped when, all of our high schools closed.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that just sort of stopped when our generation got there. We're like, well, now what do we have to do? Now we've got to figure this shit out on our own.
Well, yeah. I mean, my brother and my sister are both baby boomers, and I was on the front end of the Generation X as well. And my brother, and when they went to high school, you could still smoke. The kids, the high school students, there was a smoking area.
Oh, there was still, yeah. I mean, there wasn't... I think when I was in college, they finally passed the no smoking public thing. But there was still smoking outside the north door at Lindbergh, where I went to school.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's really weird. And that's not really all that long ago. And now, my God, you see people with a cigarette and it's like pariah much.
I can smell someone smoking in the car in front of me on the road.
So can I.
It is so... But it's just very strange because it just doesn't... it's like, what, only... less than 20%, 15, 16% now. It's not, not that much.
Yeah.
I had a friend who went to California, and she was walking down the street with her friends, and her friends lit a joint, whatever. So they're walking down the street smoking a joint, and then afterwards she goes to light a cigarette, and everyone's like, "Oh, what are you doing? You can't do that here." Oh, okay.
Isn't that just weird? God, how time changed. That is just unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, so a lot has shifted, and probably a lot for the better. I mean, if you want to smoke, I'm not going to tell you that you can't unless somebody makes it illegal. But God dang, do I love not having to smell it very often anymore. And it used to not be able to get away from it.
No, my parents smoked like crazy when I was growing up. Everybody did. And we had a Buick with a black vinyl interior, and you could see the nicotine on the windows on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
The smell of that car in the summer put me off the idea of ever smoking. The only cigarette I've ever smoked or had, I shouldn't say smoked, I had in my hand lit when I was at Dina, when a friend and I did Pasadena Dina years ago for Halloween, a bottle of champagne in one, hand.
Oh,
and
God, Patsy and Adina.
Yeah,
oh, God, absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, and I'm also really good at a pratfall. So the two things are spectacular. It's not a problem. But that would be what I lit up, a cigarette.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, times have really changed. And, God, it's kind of amazing really to take a little walk through things like that and to realize that my brother and my sister were in this group. And now, I mean, my sister's 65 and my brother's 59. And it's they used to be so wild, and now I'm like, blah, it's I don't know. Are you?
I am the oldest, but I have some cousins that are older, and some of them are actually grandparents now. And
God.
It's just really, really strange. I'm like, no, people. And then a guy I went to high school with is actually a great grandparent.
Wow.
Because we found out at a 10-year reunion because he had become a father when he was 16 and none of us knew because the gal was at another school.
Okay.
And then, so we're like, because he was, and we're just like, really? It was just we were fascinated by this concept. There were, and I've got, plenty of folks that are, reconnected, not that we get together, but, there's a select folks on Facebook that I knew from high school that I said, okay, we actually had sort of, a friendship in high school. It not just that we went to the same damn school, and I like them. So so we're friends. And so I see pictures of their grandchildren and I'm just like,
isn't that something?
I was like, oh my God. I mean, because I started parenthood so late. But I have no choice but to be younger longer. So this is what I consider, the extra joys of this.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a couple other people that are, it's getting to be that time of year where some of our guest targets are getting their times freeing up, and others are getting really busy. But I know Minnesota AIDS is coming in. Listen for them coming up on the 29th. They've got some really great educators that can speak on all sorts of different topics. And then we've got a few other really fun people that we're going to pepper in leading up to the holidays. And I think it'd be fun to do another swinger show coming up near Christmas. It's been a long time since we've talked to those friendly folks.
Well, I'd actually be curious to see, I mean, is there a separate Christmas card you send out to your swinger folks?
Right, a naked one.
Yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah.
Well, we can get them on Skype even.
Yeah, last year.
Ooh, Secret Santa. Swinger Secret Santa. That would be fun.
Is that when you don't know who you're fucking? How does that work? Well, you guys, thank you so much for, coming in and having like decadent cake with me and all of that good stuff. Happy Election Day, everybody. A week from now, when we do our show, it's going to be a whole different ballgame and no more campaign ads.
Yay. No, I was saying I've been really lucky. I don't have regular TV anymore. I don't watch it. So I see no campaign ads at all local, none, one. And then when I was traveling looking at colleges in Iowa, I did see a few, but the sound was off on the TV. So I was able to guess. I'm like, that's a Republican commercial. That's a Democrat. I was having fun playing, name the party, but I didn't hear anything. And it was pretty hilarious. And I've been ruthless in my, editing, and I only do a couple social media things. And so really, it's really been a fairly, painless sort of like the last 6 months because
shut up.
I am ruthless. Ruthless. Sorry.
I don't want to hear that.
I am ruthless in my editing.
You like don't show me this ad kind of stuff. Is that what
you're
talking about?
I have thousands of, I'll put it this way. There's several local news things that have websites, right? And they'll say like, I'll see an article and I'll click on it. And they'll say there's like 32, comments. Honestly, 10 comments show up because I've already blocked like 25 strangers I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have ruthlessly blocked thousands of people. And from all that, and it's just like, and the thing is, I think I knew this because I started this years ago. I mean, at one point, I'm wondering if Facebook was like, you have blocked too many people, too many things. I have blocked hundreds of websites, for a whole, because I'm like, too much shit, whether I agree with it or not,
right?
Because I was like, too much shit. And so I see the stuff I want to see.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you started now, it would be overwhelming, block. But I've been doing it for so long.
They just don't even try.
I've had the payoff. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't show up. It just doesn't.
It's interesting.
Well, for the rest of us, thank God we got through. And now we only need 4 years of the losing side bitching. That's all that's left to look forward to.
It won't be any different than the past 8 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, any year. I mean, for the last, since 2000, since the millennium, for sure, we've been the most like down the middle. I think that these have been the closest elections, and I think it's going to be that way.
I mean, honestly, I don't think anything's different. I just think that people are no longer interested in being polite to bigots, people who are sexist, and people who are racist. I mean, they're no longer going to go, what the hell? I'm just not, and I'm not going to say anything. I think people are saying things, and that's where the conflict is coming. It's like, I'm perfectly fine discussing tax policy with you.
Yeah.
But once you start, being a bigot, a racist, or a sexist, then I'm going to call you on it. And I think people are done being polite about stuff like that. There's a difference between, talking about tax policy or talking about whether or how you want the, education fund spent and stuff like that. They're different philosophies of getting to the same spot. But when you put the other stuff in there, I'm like, no, I'm done.
No, I'm just saying though, statistically, if you look at the numbers, I mean, just the numbers of people voting, and how close the races have been, like in presidential elections, they're tighter than they used to be. Like there used to be far clearer winners in the past than there has been since 2000. And I don't know if it's going to get a little more, come back, but I mean, it's like, it's so close now. It's amazing.
I think Reagan was the last landslide. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't so hard to tell, up until the last minute. I mean, that's just overall, which I think is really kind of interesting. And I just hope to God that that a winner is clear today. That we don't have to go through that
months of recounts and
yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't think there's going to be too much of a problem with that. It's going through there. We're going through there, and but it won't make any. It really won't make too much of a difference one way or another.
I just don't want to be mired in litigation. That's just very unsettling. I'd rather just have the leader, you know what I mean? And just not have that cloud.
Yeah, we lived through it before. It'll be fine.
Oh, you're such an optimist.
No, we have a very glacially paced setup government. And we also have a crap ton of millennials that are going to kick our ass in the next 20 years.
Yep.
So, us old fucks, we're they'll, it'll be fine.
Okay, so I started my day with my brother calling me, and I said hello, and he said, ARP wants you. And now we're closing out the show as old fucks. So let's just leave it right there.